Bethlin Castle, or Magna Curia, which houses the museum in Deva, is the oldest historical monument building in Deva that has been preserved. In 1582, the governor Francisc Gesti built a house at the foot of the Deva citadel. In this house lived voivodes Sigismund Bathory, General Basta, Stefan Bocskai, Gavril Bathory, and from 1613 to 1621, Gabriel Bethlin, who actually built the Magna Curia building in 1621. Some transformations took place in the first half of the 18th century when it received a relevant Baroque appearance by adding a monumental staircase and a polylobe balcony. The museum has several sections. The museum collection contains pieces of prehistoric, Dacian, Roman, pre-medieval, early medieval archaeology, reliefs from Ulpia Traiana and Mysia, mining tools, blacksmith workshop, medical instruments, bronze pieces, numismatics, history, visual art, decorative art, old Romanian and foreign books, sidearms and firearms. The museum also has collections of ethnography, traditional clothing, tools, wickerwork, Bottiza ceramics, icons painted on glass, and natural sciences, botany, paleontology, malacology, entomology, vertebrates, mineralogy. In 1582, the captain of the Deva fortress garrison, Francisc Gesti, built a house on the site of the current monument. This house will be used as a residence by Sigismund Bathory, General Basta, Stefan Bocskai, Gabriel Bathory, and Gabriel Bethlin. In 1621, Gabriel Bethlin ordered the radical transformation of the original construction, resulting in the Magna Curia Palace. Originally designed in Renaissance style under Gabriel Bethlin, the edifice reached its final form at the beginning of the 18th century when the last modifications were made. These changes give it the Baroque appearance preserved to this day. After the unification of Transylvania with Romania in 1918, Bethlin Castle became the property of the Romanian state, and from 1938, the castle was set up as the History Museum of Hunedoara County, currently the Dacian and Roman Civilization Museum of Deva. The Deva Citadel. Considered by many foreign travelers to be impregnable, especially due to its position, the Deva Citadel was built between 1250 and 1260, immediately after the Tatar invasion, by order of King Bela IV of Hungary. Starting at the end of the 13th century, it became a voivodeship residence, from where Roland Borsha and Ladislaus Khan ruled the land. In 1444, Ladislaus V donated the fortress to John of Hunedoara, the voivode of Transylvania, as a reward for the victories against the Turks. With his death in 1456, the fortress returned to Mate Corvin and remained in the custody of the Huniad family until 1504. In 1579, Francisc David, the Protestant preacher and founding bishop of the Reformed Church and later of the Unitarian Church in Transylvania, died in the Deva citadel. Another important event in the history of the fortress is represented by the year 1782, when the villagers from Dobra, led by Horea, Kloshka, and Krishan, took possession of the fortress. At the end of the 18th century, the fortress lost its strategic importance, being abandoned. Later, Emperor Francis I, passing through Deva, decided to restore the fortress. The Deva citadel was finally destroyed in 1849, when it was occupied by an Austrian unit and the ammunition warehouse exploded in the eastern part of the fortress. One of the legends of the place is also connected to this event. It is said that the Austrian soldier who was in charge of managing the ammunition warehouse had a beautiful but adventurous wife. Overwhelmed by jealousy, the soldier blew up the warehouse along with the entire fortress, ending the life of his wife and her lover, as well as a centuries-old glorious history. Another legend, Hungarian in origin, is identical to a Romanian one from Curtea de Argeș, only the protagonist is different. A stonemason named Kelemen was tasked with building a fortress, but everything he built during the day fell down at night. To complete the project, Kelemen, together with the 12 craftsmen, decided to sacrifice Anna, the mason's wife, and her ashes would be mixed into the plaster. Anna was sacrificed and the construction was completed. Gate 1. Pedestrian access to the citadel is made through Gate 1, located in its southeast corner. The roughly square building, 10 by 10.5 meters, is built of andesite, bound with lime mortar, presenting an irregular facade, only the corners being made of shaped blocks. The walls are 2 meters thick and are supported on strong foundations with thicknesses varying between 2.5 to 3 meters. On the south and north sides, there are 2 entrances forming the carriageway, semicircular vaulted, with local stone. Staircase Gate 1. Following documentation and archaeological research, it was found that Gate 1 was protected by a roof, the upper level being functional. Access to the upper part was made through a stair tower attached to the enclosure wall, which also functioned as a guard room. Archaeological findings and historical data indicate the construction of Gate 1 and Enclosure 3 of the citadel at the end of the 17th century, immediately after the conquest of Transylvania by the Austrian imperial troops. Artillery platforms. From the semicircular staircase, the paved pedestrian access road continues into Precinct 3 towards the West Artillery platforms. Following the archaeological research, it was concluded that when raising the platform, the builders of the citadel used a rock spur. Investigations inside and outside the platform revealed 2 shot holes on the southwest side. A wall was also discovered outside the platform, which was part of a defense system that doubled, to the south, the wall of Enclosure 3. The Wooden Bridge and Caesar's Gate. The wooden bridge connects Precinct 3 and Precincts 2 and 1 of the citadel. Access to Precinct 2 is made through Caesar's Gate. In the Caesar's Gate area, the wooden bridge has a movable section. Caesar's Gate, located next to the gate tower of Precinct 1, has internal dimensions of 3 by 3.4 meters and is closed in the upper part with a semicircular brick arch. The oven area. On the north side of Precinct 2, the garrison kitchen was located, a building attached to the wall of Precinct 1, a determining element for understanding the functioning of the citadel. It was built at the beginning of the 18th century and has a trapezoidal shape. The construction is divided into 2 rooms, separated by a thin wall that was added later. The Deva Citadel Municipal Park is located at the foot of the fortress in Deva, the capital city of Hunedoara County. If in the past it was the garden of the Magna Curia Palace, now the park is one of the town's main attractions, especially during the summer season, because here anyone can cool off in the shade of dozens of trees. There is also a children's playground here. At the initiative of Dr. Petru Groza, at the beginning of the 20th century, several species of trees were brought here from the Simiria Dendrological Park, some of which have survived to this day. The municipal park in Deva has undergone several changes over the years. At the main entrance to the park, on the left side there is a pedestrian statue of Decebalus, the king of the Dacians, and on the right side there is the house of Dr. Petru Groza. In the park, several shady paths wind, especially in summer, by towering trees. These alleys would surely have many stories to tell if this were possible, because over the years, many love stories have been written here. In the center of the park, there is a gazebo, where visitors can enjoy live music every Sunday during the summer, as a local band plays for locals and tourists alike. In the 60s and 70s, there was a mini zoo here, where you could admire a Carpathian bear. In addition to the trees that are located here, such as linden, arborvitae, hornbeam, elm, or juniper, several areas with planters with different types of beautifully colored flowers have been arranged. Here in the park, you can also admire squirrels, which often come down from the trees close to the people. The historical center of Deva stretches from the building of the administrative palace near the Citadel Park, the current seat of the Hunedoara Prefecture and County Council, to the entrance to the Union Square. The historic center is a recently renovated promenade that warmly combines history, nature, and avant-garde buildings. Along the pedestrian center, on both sides, we find numerous historical monument-type buildings, including the Deva Art Theater, the former Orient Hotel, the former Boulevard Hotel, and other architectural ensembles with a rich history. And in the Union Square, there are other historical monuments of interest for tourists who love the past. In the Victory Square, you can find the famous equestrian statue of Decebalus, king of the Dacians. Created in 1978 by sculptor Ion Jalea, it is located in front of the House of Culture. The area around the statue, known by the locals as At the Horse, is a favorite meeting place for lovers, friends, and pensioners, and the focal point of the town.